Mario Perry. This is the 56th episode of BPerryFilms Podcast. I will be discussing in detail what has been holding the Black community back for many centuries. The goal of this presentation is to bring awareness to make these changes happen sooner than later. We can either blame history for holding us back or take full responsibility for ourselves in creating a better future and an opportunity for ourselves. So we'll start with number one, lack of education. When it comes to education, it seems like it's like the lowest totem pole that we put ourselves at. I feel that, it's actually publicly known that Black people are the highest spenders when it comes to entertainment, health, and everything else, beauty, but everything but education. And it's coming to a point where a lot of people aren't offering financial assistance to the Black community because they feel like, what's the point of us investing in them if they're not going to invest in themselves? And people are making more stipulations when it comes to scholarships and grants where you have to complete to get full funding, And it's coming to a point where it's getting out of hand. If you want to feel like you want to get these leadership roles or be looked at as a higher representative, either in a leadership role, president role, management role, CEO, entrepreneur, creator, or any of these different titles, you have to be willing to put in the work. You have to invest in education. When was the last time that you read a book? And a lot of people are just like, what's a book? You mean your Kindle, your Nook, on these e-reading books and stuff like that? Or some people are quick to going on YouTube or TikTok just to find information, but just to let you know, not everyone is a credible resource. You have to go out and find resources such as coaches, mentors, professors, teachers, consultants. Don't be afraid to spend money on things that will give you long-term gain in the future. Stop thinking about, this is going to be a lot of money, but you spend a lot of money on shoes, sneakers, concerts, hair products, just all this miscellaneous things that give you no long-term gain. It might satisfy you for the short term, but we have to think about the long term. What can we give our future self, our future kids, our nieces, our nephews, just more future generations, or even our future selves? Investing in stocks, investing in real estate, investing in financial assistance, 401ks, Roth IRAs, just so many things that we could be investing in instead of running up our credit cards. Like I said, we have to make it make sense. Why is it that the Black community is always at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to education, but we can be the high spender in everything else? We claim that we're broke, but we're the highest spenders. The numbers aren't making sense. The question that we'll be answering today is, why do Black people have these leadership roles? Why aren't Black people looked at as leaders? Why aren't Black people looked at as motivators? The second point is that we always feel defeated. This is a part of imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is where we have other people giving their internal doubts and pushing it onto us to make us feel less than or weaker than what we are capable of. People are always saying that there's no space for Black people. I often feel it on YouTube. I feel like there's not enough Black creators. People don't come to us for education. People don't believe that we are good mentors or coaches because they feel like we might be scamming people out of money, or we might be doing drugs or getting money from unlegal entities and stuff like that. Basically saying businesses that aren't legitimate, and people just don't believe that we are capable of being great at doing anything other than just being subjected to stereotypes, being thugs, being in jail, being killed, being lynched. We have so many things that are holding us back. Yes, the world can be white dominated, but it could be Asian dominated. It could be so many ways of being dominated. However, we can work together. We're just people. We might look different. We might have different hair textures. We might have different experiences. But that's part of being human. That's how we are able to learn from one another. That's how we're able to give feedback. And that's how we're able to improve slowly but surely. Many of the civil rights leaders have fought for us to have an education, for us to have rights, for us to have books, for us to become presidents, for us to start businesses, be able to the front forward face of our products instead of having a white face in front of it. We can be leaders. It doesn't have to be at a table or anything, but we can run our own businesses. We don't need a team. We can build a team if we want to, but we're not subjected to that. There are spaces for us to build on, but the first step is just starting. I know many of my clients feel like they are defeated in the beginning without even starting. They're just like, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I don't even know what to post about. How are you going to start a YouTube channel if you don't know what you're posting about? You know, you have to know what you're interested in. What can you talk about for hours? What do you like binge watching? What do you like consuming? What do you feel most comfortable sharing? What do people ask you for? And these are the type of content pillars that you have to think about. When I think of creating a YouTube channel or a TikTok video, I always go to my workbook, the YouTubers Create workbook, and I just think about what is my main focus? How am I going to get there? What are the main points? And what is the end goal that I want people to leave away with? Just like this video right here. This is not to bash people, but this is just to bring awareness that Black people need to try a lot harder than they do, you know? And some people aren't even trying at all. And the third point is building that community, supporting one another instead of bashing each other. Like I said, this video is more of an uplifting. This is just to bring awareness that we have to take accountability for ourselves. We can't just say, you white people, you Asian people, you this, you that, because that's just putting on blame on someone else when you're not, when these people haven't even spoken to you. They don't even know who you are. You're just blaming you, but what about I, me, myself, you know? Start thinking about what you can do a little bit better. Stop capitalizing off each other's failure. Stop stepping on each other. Stop walking all over each other. Oh, this person failed. Let me take over. Let me buy this person's company. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me manipulate. Stop doing all that. That's just taking up a lot of space and a lot of time that you could be focusing on improving on yourself and improving on your business. And stop the whole division of internally of colorism. This is where people who are lighter skin are favored over people who are darker skin. This is reality. It's just a form of racism within the colored community. Capitalism, you just think of people having more money than you and how it separates us. As you notice, poor people hang around people that have less than, and then wealthier people hang around people who have more money or equal value of them, so they don't feel like they're being used or being manipulated. And then education, you can find this everywhere. I have a ton of resources. There's tons of schools. You can go online. You can look at databases. You can read books. Like I said, there's so much information out there for you, but you have to be willing to try. I always instilled in my nieces and nephews that education is going to help you persevere through many of the different challenges that you have within yourself. We see the Olympics, and they included new sports. They included diversity. They allow people from different walks of life to try out for the first time. They go through different trials and tribulations. There's so many people who compete. A lot of people fail, but at least they're on the Olympics. That is one of the major milestones. It's like getting nominated for a Grammy or Oscar or a Tony or an NAACP award. There's so many milestones and so many achievements that you can have in your future, but you have to be willing to put in the work, study the foundations, learn the basics. It's just like my dance teacher told me. Start with level 1 of ballet. Always go back to that. It doesn't matter if you're an expert. Always go to that foundation of ballet, and it will teach you the core of how to articulate your movement, your storytelling, your musicality, and your development. So don't be afraid to start from the basics. Same thing with martial arts. Same thing with swimming. Start from the basics. That's what we're here for. Same thing with coaching. They're going to teach you the fundamentals. Same thing with a course. You start from module 1 to get to module 10. When you go for a webinar, you have a clear objective of where you want to go. They have key points that they're going to go through. And they're going to hit those marks. And then your goal at the end is to learn something new. So to answer your question, why don't Black people have leadership roles? Because they're not trying hard enough. You think you're trying, but you're not trying hard enough. Invest in courses, invest in webinars, invest in education, read a book. Take ownership of yourself. Stop putting the blame on other people. Support one another. Invest in education. Stop feeling defeated. Build a sense of community. And let that be your power. Those 3 points right there. Education, confidence, and community. And that's all you need to be successful in life. Thank you. Follow me on YouTube at the BPerryFilms Experience, TikTok and Instagram at BPerryFilms, and also on LinkedIn, Bobby L. Perry. Thank you.